This is what we talk about, different ways to call people to Allah. I said, this is my man. He's into the religion. He's what we would call quote unquote religious, but he's just a regular dude. He's not a scholar. He's not giving a khutbah, and this is his way of calling people to Allah. To me, is
who'd you show? You showed Habib?
No, I didn't show Habib.
Who'd you show?
I showed my man Mus'ab. I showed my man Ahmed Khan.
You showed some Awliyah?
No, I didn't.
Get him to make du'a for me. Show him.
I got you.
Tell him to save me. You know what I'm saying? Make some du'as for me.
I got you.
And him.
I got you, inshallah.
Yeah.
But no, wallahi, I thought this was.
What they were saying? Because I was cursing.
No, they said that. Listen, Habibi, my man from Sweden came this year, and I did a video with him, and he said we have a thing that's called in Sweden it's called fika, like which means like coffee break. So basically, it's like they interview people having a cup of coffee, and they don't just talk. It's not like talk about the issue in niqab, talk about No, it's just regular. Like we talked about multiple realities. Like, does it exist? Does it? You know what I'm saying? Like like the multiverse. Like I had I think 3 years ago I came home on a visit and I picked up a book. It's called What is Reality? I started reading it, and it was deep. It was a real good book. And then now in all these movies they talk about multiple dimensions and all these different things. And alhamdulillah, like we had a nice conversation about it from how can you connect it to Islam? And I'm like, look, you have Alam al-Arwah.
That's what I was gonna ask you about, the realm of the souls, right?
Yeah.
Right, so they ever mention about that from your shuyukh?
Yeah.
What did they say about that?
So Habib Abu Bakr Adani, he was given a lecture on a brother's at a brother's house, brother Tarim from the UK, and he mentioned about different realms. Habib Abu Bakr Adani is known for talking about underworlds. He has books written on the Dajjal. He's one of my favorite shuyukh in Tarim, and he's very, very, very intellectual.
Is he in Tarim?
Yeah, he's moved to Tarim now.
When you was to Tarim?
I think 2 years ago.
How old is he?
I'm not sure how old he is. He's getting older though. But he's a lot of the Habab that moved out of Saudi, they're dead.
What's his name?
Habib Abu Bakr Al-Adani.
Yeah, I think I saw him. That's the Habab.
Yeah, that's Sheikh Ahmed. Sheikh Ahmed Sheikh. Yeah. He loves Habib, mashallah. And that's Habib Umar's best friend. So alhamdulillah, mashallah. I could just give a whole video about the talks he gave.
Yeah, because some of them, a lot of people don't know is that the Awliyah, they be privileged to certain things that the normal people aren't. But people don't believe that. But I know that dream is real. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
And they'll tell you some secrets sometimes.
The things we hear in Tarim, I don't know if I could put on camera. Sure, and I'm not just saying it. I mean, alhamdulillah, Tarim is ajib. Listen, like before I went to, I'm gonna say if people doubt the Awliyah, so the guard at Zumbul. It's just the guard at Zumbul. He just sits there, and that's my man. Like before I left, I had dinner at his house. Like I ate with him multiple times. He's come to my house. We're real close. And just being in Zumbul is ibadah. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand that, and I don't have time to explain and refute how that could be ibadah. You know what I'm saying? And no, I'm not saying people get that twisted. See, look, he said being at the graveyard is ibadah. They don't get it, and I'm not saying that. No, that action is ibadah, but we're not worshiping what is in the graves. So, for example, being with a righteous person with the right intention, like Shu was tired when we was I said, look, make intentions to take from Sheikh Samir. Sheikh Samir has gazed upon men, who gazed upon men, who gazed upon men, who gazed upon men, who gazed upon the Messenger of Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Take from him. You know what I'm saying? People think this religion is just one. It's just, you know what I'm saying? No, this religion is wasiya. It's very, very wide, man. Alhamdulillah. But about the multiverse, just real quick. That he was saying that
it worked though. I woke up.
Alhamdulillah, that's it. No, I was making a point about the guard for Zumbul because I'm gonna say this and talk about the multiverse. He told me before I was traveling to Beirut. He said, "Nuh." I went to Zumbul one night. He said, "Nuh, anta sofa tusafir." I said, "What?" He said, "You gonna travel?" I said, "I'm not traveling. Habib won't let me leave." He said, "Trust me, you about to travel." So I'm like, "Who you hear it from?" So he was like, "Seen it." I was like, "All right, Solomon." A few months later, I went to him. I was like, "Yo, I came back from where did I go? I think I went to the States. I came back from the States, and then I went to him. I was like, yo, I talked to Habib. I'm going to Beirut." And he was like, I told you. So alhamdulillah, people can doubt all they want. I've had Habib Omar, listen, and this is real. and everybody in this room can relate to this. If a dude who get money, get kidnapped, and he missing for 2 years, what happens?
They gonna assume he did.
And they gonna assume he did, right? Mm-hmm. He owns half of Tarim, so it's like a dude, he runs or owns half of Atlantic City. Dudes jump off the car with ARs, put them in another car, take them off, and ask for a ransom, and they like, we not paying the ransom. What do you think happens to this dude?
Yeah, he done.
He did, right? Habib said, he'll be back. Don't worry. Don't worry, he'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
Year later, I remember I was talking to my homie Jabril. I hate to say it because he was like, any word on Sheikh Abdullah Mullah Dawilla? I said, he gotta be dead. Come on, man. Like, Habib said he's not gonna get him money because he like, if we get him money, you just want to keep taking us. Every time we turn around, somebody's gonna be getting kidnapped. So we're not giving you the money. He said, Ajib. I'm like, Habib said he was coming back, and I was like, maybe it was a metaphor. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? The Awliyah don't lie. It is a metaphor.
He tried to offer an excuse.
Year and a half go by. My homie from LA hit me up because he was in Tarim for like a year. He was like, yo, any word on Abdullah Mullah Dawilla? I'm like, hey, D, man, you know what it is. He from the hood. He from Crenshaw. He from Nipsey neighborhood. He like, yeah, I hate to say it, but the big homie gone. We from the hood. Like, this is what happened where we from. I left Tarim. I get messages. Abdullah Mullah Dawilla is back. I said, astaghfirullah, I doubted my sheikh. He's at 2 years. Look, all the hotels in Tarim, Darul Mustafa is all funded by Sheikhuna Abdullah Mullah Dawilla. Dudes got out the car with AKs, took them to Allah. Allah Ta'ala knows, only Allah knows where they took them, right? 2 years gone. He pops because Habib said he'll be back. That's a cough. Shut up, there.
No, I know some incidents like that too. But Shah said told us, I remember he told us 2 things. He said when that turmoil was happening with Saddam Hussein, he said they're going to catch him. They're going to get him. When he was high, he said don't worry, they'll get him. And they found him. And then he said they're going to call Azan from the White House, right? That was 5 years. 5 years later, they called Azan from the White House.
SubhanAllah. And the thing is, like, a Salafi will say, like, that's because y'all work with the jinns. It's like, all right, so you mean to tell me, I give you an example, right? I use this example all the time when I teach about trying to encourage people to recite the Quran. All right, so you mean to tell me that there was a hadith where someone was reciting the Quran and an angel started coming to him?
His name is Usayd ibn Hudayr.
So he's reciting Quran and the angels are coming to him. So you mean to tell me if someone who's constantly in ibadah, someone who's dedicated their life to Allah, you don't mean you? So what you're doing is you're doubting Allah. Your naqs isn't in your belief that this man, but Allah Ta'ala can do what He wills. You know what I'm saying? How many karamat do we have from the Awliyah? Give me a hadith where the Prophet ﷺ says that after the salat there will be no more karamat. Give me one hadith, one statement from Umar where he said this won't exist after the death of Ali. We have Sahih hadith that Umar ibn al-Khattab was in 2 places at one time.
Yeah.
We have Sahih hadith where Umar was in Medina and he shouted to the army and they heard him.
Turn around.
I mean, I'm just saying, this Sahih hadith it's not like you can actually pick the hadith apart. It's Sahih hadith. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, at the end of the day, these things exist. No, you can't give me a proof that says that these things are cut off. Give me one hadith. One of my teachers said to me, the hadith that says, follow my khulafa al-rashidin. He says, follow my sunnah and their sunnah. He says, give me one hadith or one proof that says that he was only referring to the 4 khalifas, to Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali. Give me one hadith that says that this was in reference to them only. He says, so when we follow Khalifa, he says the one in our time who was closest to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his character and his akhlaq and his behavior, all these different things, and it's anonymous amongst the ummah that this person is the leader of the ummah, khalas, we follow him. Yeah, it's his sunnah. You know what I'm saying? And then like the Salafis have this opinion that we just follow the sheikh blindly. I remember one time I was in fiqh class. Now this is tarbiyah, by the way. You want to give an example of tarbiyah, what spiritual discipline is. I studied Risalah to Jamia. I studied Safina to Najah. I studied Safina twice before I went overseas. I studied it once in Philly, and I studied it with Imam Amin before I left. And alhamdulillah, like when I was here with Imam Amin, we would get it in. We ride to New York, we read a fiqh book on the way back, Aqidah book. So I was already there, and I was telling Habib that like I wanted to take a break from fiqh because I had my ibadah down, and I really wanted to focus on Sirah at the time. I memorized 5 books of Sirah that year. There's my teacher, Dr. Awliyah bin Shihab. He has a series, a silsila, it's called a silsila, a series of books on the life of the Prophet from before his revelation to after his death. So it's before revelation, the Meccan, before Hijrah, Ba'da Hijrah, so after Hijrah, the death of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then he has another book on Shama'il that I memorized. So memorize these books. You know what I'm saying? Alhamdulillah, I benefited, but he was like, I want you to study fiqh. I said, okay, what book? So I'm thinking he's going to tell me to go a book up. I thought maybe Matan Nabi Sujah, something, you know, that has a little bit more information in it. He said, study Risala to Jamia. That's the first book in the method. He sent me back to the first, and look, I'm in the halaqah with kids my children age. So, but alhamdulillah. So we got to a part, he was reading from an explanation of the book, and he said, so when Habib makes salat, he takes his shawl off and he puts it in front of him and he prays on it. So in the madhab, it's sunnah to pray with a shawl on you. In the Shafi'i, in the Maliki madhab as well, it's sunnah to pray with a shawl on you. So we said, one of the students said, but Habib prays with his shawl. And the Shaykh said, but you ain't Habib Ummah. You don't know what Allah Ta'ala is unveiling to him. Habib is a Arif Billah. That's his level, and what he does is what he does. You, at your stage, you follow the kutub. You follow what's in the book. That's it. Khalas. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like this blind following. Whatever the Shaykh does, that's what we do. I've never seen anything from Habib Umar, Sheikh Umar Khatib, Sheikh Munir Bazuhir, none of these men, except that it was complete and utterly following of the Prophet. And when I came with my ignorance, they would correct me. Anything that I came that was anything other than the religion of Islam, they would correct me.